Okay guys, last turn of the game. This is pretty much going to wrap us up. It's the beginning of the Japanese turn. It looks like Dylan was making an end run on my little objective hooch here. He ran into some opportunity fire from my mountain gun, which again rolled pretty well. That mountain gun is definitely my most valuable player. It feels like it's overpowered, but it has rolled like 3s and 4s and 5s almost the whole game. They're not normally this effective. Also, you put an officer with them, your good captain in there. Yeah, you won't get a really good bonsai charge, but your artillery is going to be messing some people up for sure. Okay, so starting off with the Japanese direct fire, I'm going to go ahead and hopefully finish off what's in India 9. 12 points, no modifiers, because -2 for my leader, +2 for Woods becomes a wash. So 12 points, gray row, no modifiers. Okay, there's a bad roll. 9 stays at a 9. That is 0 casualty points. That squad has, believe it or not, survived. Alright, cool. That ends up my fire phase. And now go to my movement phase. You know what? He's going to try to freaking assault me. I know he is. Is that even an objective hex? That we're fighting so desperate. We've been trading this hex back and forth. It's not even an objective hex. So he's going to rally. Out of sight, out of sight. He's going to totally try and retake that objective hex. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going down a hill. 5. Pretty sure I'm still safe. 6. I know most of them are pinned down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's only got a range of 4, so he couldn't reach me. He could see me though. And there was no line of sight here, I don't think. No, it's blocked by P6 there. Alright, so that move is complete. I had to take the officer with him in order to give him a 6 of movement rate. A movement rate of 6, I should say. Okay. In my command phase, I will take this full squad and divide it into 2 half squads. Okay, that's going to be it for my movement phase. Advance and assault phase. Get in that hex. Alright, over to you for your last turn. Turn 6, direct fire, any. Oh, first thing that happens in your command phase, automatically rally.
Yep.
Alright, because my mountain gun finally missed for a change, this last turn might have become borderline interesting.
Alrighty, let's I'll move. Let's start with this crazy Papuan half squad.
Yep.
They'll move into I-8.
Yep, when you move into I-8, you drop out of sight because you're now behind H7. So my mountain gun can't see you. So that costs you 2 points?
And I know it seems counterintuitive, but I'll go J7.
Yeah, I see what. Yeah, it's this guy's got a hell of a choice. Go here, take opportunity fire from the mountain gun, but I get cover. Or go here, the mountain gun can't see me. I think Dylan fears the mountain gun. It's not his fault. It's been rolling like absurdly good this whole game. But on an average roll, it's not that powerful. But it's just been rolling like a fiend. Okay, the bad news is that he's now in the open. So that's -2, -3 for opportunity fire. He's only 3 points, so I'm on the red row. But I get to subtract 3 from my roll. All right, come on. Who is that? Lieutenant Saito. Lieutenant Saito. The Emperor is watching. Do it. That is a 7, which becomes a 4 on, there's only 3 points there, so that is 3 casualty points. I think I broke it up.
So, yeah, Brian will be pinned and the others will be killed. Oh, well, taken out.
Oh no, poor Mr. Papuans. You tried. You tried so hard. Yeah, otherwise, if he goes into I-7, guys, he gets a lot of cover. I have to add 2 to all my rolls, but now he's vulnerable to the mountain gun. Neither choice was great. Okay, any other movement? You already own P7, and I don't get to move, so... And P5 is not an objective.
Yes.
Or if you just want to be a badass and assault with valorous Australians for anger's sake.
So McCleary's gonna head down that road with his unit.
Okay.
So Q8, P7, 07.
Okay, in 07, you become visible to the deck gun. Word to the wise.
Yep.
Okay.
And he'll take his Papuans with him.
Oh yeah.
That's the whole thing. Oh, and drop the Vickers gun. Yeah.
Do I still have the Vickers gun? Oh yeah, you do. Vickers
I think it might have been grouped. Yeah.
Okay.
So 07, N7, M7.
Okay, in 07 you become visible to the deck gun. Or like deck gun, the mountain gun.
Yep.
Okay.
That's fine.
Because he didn't get a chance to shoot at your guys over here, so now he's going to get a chance to shoot at your guys. 12 minus 2 for Oshima. Okay, a 9 becomes a 7 on 12 points. That is 2 points. You've got 2 valorous units in there. That has no effect. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 points so far, and he's now fired.
And they'll just keep going on up the road. So N7, as far as they can get.
4, 5, 6. They won't quite reach it. Did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? You were on the road the whole time? I think that's how the rule works. I think you have to move 1 extra point.
Okay.
And obviously my guys here have already taken their opportunity fire. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. We'll check the rule later, but for now we'll just go ahead and allow it. I don't want to break up the recording. You only get an extra movement point if you spend your entire time on the road, which you did. And you had to abandon the Vickers to do it.
Yeah.
So, cool.
Cool. That'll be my movement phase.
Okay. And then we go straight to advance and assault because both of my remaining stacks... Ooh, wait a minute. Did this guy ever have a shot?
You've got a line on me. Yeah, I think you've got a line there.
In L7. I gotta do something because I see what he's about to do. He's about to steal an objective X from me. Okay, so when you were in L6, you were visible briefly because of where I'm at here. Alright, so that is going to be knee mortar time, plus my knee mortar finally gets to shoot. 7 points, 11 points, 13 points. I have no leader in there. 13 points, -1 for non-point blank range opportunity fire in the open. So 11, I said 11, right? 7, 11, well 13 is the same thing. Gray row, subtract 1. That's 8, that becomes a 7. 2 casualty points, 2 valorous units. Dude, he's literally doing the Dick Winters. He's just running through Japanese field guns and machine gun fire and knee mortars. They're catching the shells and throwing them back, you know. Oh no, he's going to steal an assault from me. Alright, I cannot fire because clearly I've already taken opportunity fire. In fact, all 3 of my stacks have now. So that's it for that. We'll go to your advance and assault phase, which I think I know what's coming.
Yep, let's head into that building there. Let's go inside.
Okay, word to the wise, for people watching the stream later, Oriskany always counts buildings as 2, not 3. Especially these little buildings made out of bamboo. These are not French stone churches. So, okay, that's about to come into play. But clearly is a 1 in an assault. Oh no, he's a 2 because he's a valorous unit. He doubles, which means these holes friggin' double to 8. These guys are not valorous, he's Papuans. So it's 8 plus 2 is 10, plus another 2 is 12, versus my 3, 4 to 1. We're both -1. You have to roll a 10 or less on 2d6.
Let's do it. I got a 7.
Boom! Saito and his guys are wiped out. You own the hex. That cost you I'm sorry, there were 2 infantry units in the hex, plus 2 for the building. So it's a total of 4 casualty points. You get to ignore the first 2 because of your valorous units, and then you have 2 more casualty points to assess.
I'll pin the valorous unit in the Papuans.
Cool. And then at the very end of your turn, just to wrap things up 100%, go ahead and try to rally Ryan. He needs a 6 or less.
He got an 11.
Nope. This guy gets to rally on a 7 or less because he has a -1 leader with him.
He got a 7.
He does barely, and the Papuans also need a 7 or less.
A 12. Yeah.
Nope.
They're good.
We give up. You don't pay us enough. All right, and you've retaken that objective X. Oh no! All right, so we're gonna figure out the score here, guys, because I'm not gonna lie, it's actually pretty close. We're gonna figure out the points here, and we'll be back with a final determination on who actually won this game. So stay tuned. Okay, guys, we have done the math. We've made our list, naughty and nice, checked it twice. And long story short, this comes out as an Australian victory, 61 to 45. I started off with 41 potential casualty points. Actually, that's 42. And then I forgot to count the actual mountain gun. But it's just 41. It would be 46 minus 5 instead of 45 minus 4. It doesn't matter. It comes out to 41 units destroyed, which gives him 41 points. And then he has 4 of the objective hexes. He gets 5 points for each of those. 41 and 20 becomes 61. Meanwhile, he almost tabled me. I almost tabled him. Again, you all know what we started with. There's not much left, really at all. But at the same time, I get double points. So I knocked out 20 casualties. That's either half squads or officers. Gives me a total of 40 points. What killed it for me is I only control 1 objective hex. So him stealing back this one, it seemed silly at the time. It cost him 2 half squads, but nevertheless he went ahead and did it. And then what was really killer was taking this. So yeah, now I'm down to this objective hex is the only one I hold. He still holds this one, still holds this one, still holds this one way in the back, and he actually stole this little hooch from me at the very end there, despite my mountain gun doing plenty of carnage. So long story short, I only hold 1 objective hex. That's only 5 points. On top of my 40, gives me a score of 45. So 45 to 61. Mr. Dillon, what do you think?
I think that was an awesome game. I think it was nice and brutal. As you said, it's Pacific warfare, which is pretty nasty. You really notice how much the terrain moving and the trees getting in your way really restricts the way you have to move and fight. It's pretty intense, pretty close range stuff. Yeah, there's not too many long lines of fire here, unless you manage to use the elevation to your advantage. That's where that mountain gun was paying off in spades. And of course, it doesn't hurt that I put a -2 commander in there, and then I rolled pretty well on them as well. I did get some 9s and 10s in there, but a lot of 3s, 4s, and 5s in there as well. No snipers. No one rolled boxcars, so no snipers popped up. Other than that, yeah, one thing that definitely went against you was when that artillery mission hit that mountain gun, but then failed to knock it out. Yeah,
but you overcame that disadvantage, so yeah, definitely.
As much as this is technically an Australian victory, I think it's a case of, can we have some reinforcements, please?
Well, that's literally this part of the battle, because again, we're only in late August, so that battle takes place right here at Usarava. Remember, they get pushed back. So here's Usarava. They get pushed back all the way to here by 26 September. The total trail is like 96 kilometers, something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to say off the top, yeah.
That's, I think, what I read. So they get pushed back like another 40 kilometers. So the Japanese, again, 1st Battalion, 144th Infantry Regiment, 55th Division, has definitely seen better days. But as we see here in the actual history of the battle, you broke up first of the 144th well enough. There's 2 more battalions right behind it. And they literally start doing a Thermopylae. They start to, flank you around the left, up through the heights. And on top of that, 2nd of the 144th is coming down this way. So there's a series of engagements. We only did the first one. But the Australians do get crowbarred out of here. and they continue to fall back along the trail. Again, they go all the way back to this point here, and it's only then that the Japanese supply lines are just too long. And then finally, the tide kind of goes the other way. So by the time you get to like 17 November, 20 November, the end of November, are the Japanese pushed back to these little bridgeheads here at Buna. And again, by then, you've got 2 regiments of Americans to help out. Also by November, the Japanese are hardcore losing the Battle of Guadalcanal, which doesn't directly impact. Again, Guadalcanal is way over here, and this is a lot of water between Kokoda Trail and Guadalcanal. But as we finally start winning more of those naval battles in the slop, long story short, that's when the Japanese Navy gets crowbarred out of here. That means more air superiority for the Allies over this area, and that does help things around Kokoda Trail. And again, by then, we've got other landings that are helping out. The Japanese Marines do drop a battalion or so here at the very tip of the island. It doesn't do very much. But then you've got, not just Australians, but also New Zealanders. Here are some of these other operations. So things do turn around. But for the moment, good game. Historically, it kind of turned out the way it did, but because of the larger picture, the Australians will fall back for about another month, and then they finally turn it around down in this part of the battle.
The Australian sort of overall commander, General Blamey, comes and gives a speech where he tells them to stop running away, and basically calls them rabbits, and that rabbits run away and you guys are running away, which sort of pisses everybody off. So this retreat really damages the morale between the Australian troops and their high command.
I mean, I don't know the campaign in detail. Maybe he was trying to like galvanize his men or something, like deliberately.
Oh no, he was. MacArthur told him to go get down there and stop them retreating, which he maybe didn't do it the most tactfully. There's stories of him visiting a hospital after making that statement, and the guys sitting there with lettuce and carrots, like nibbling on them and making rabbit noises at him.
Oh my God! Yeah, when your wounded men are mocking you. First of all, anybody who listens to MacArthur just deserves what he gets. I'm not going to get on that soapbox again, but not.
And I'll just point out one thing. My great grandfather was in 31st, 51st.
Oh, okay.
Private Fred Jones was part of that Operation Cherry Blossom that assaulted Bougainville, and then he'd spend the rest of the war pretty much. He was in the main thing, and then he got himself a pretty nasty injury, so he ended up in the supply, driving trucks in Bougainville to the end of the war. So.
Well, was the 51st also involved, or am I getting that mixed up with the 53rd? One of those battalions.
No, it was a combined 31st, 51st. It was a sort of combined battalion that was militia, then became AIF. It's a weird one. It's a tricky one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bougainville was another nasty one. The Marines were involved there as well. I do know that Bougainville was a bit of a battle. And then, of course, all up and down New Britain. Cape Gloucester, 1st Marine Division got the crap kicked out of them there. That was a bloodbath in there. The whole point was to encircle and isolate Rabaul, which they eventually did. A gigantic Japanese naval base and air base with upwards of 100,000 troops. For comparison, I often cite figures from Normandy. Everyone talks about what a bloodbath Normandy, what a huge operation Normandy was. When the Germans met the Normandy D-Day landings in France, June 1944, they had about 19,000 men in the field, 2 aircraft, and 0 ships. Japanese had an entire fleet at Rabaul, 100,000 men, and hundreds of aircraft. So do the math and figure out what kind of invasion it would have taken to clear Rabaul. The Allies took one look at the tail end of those equations and said, we're just going to surround it and isolate it and let it wither on the vine. And that's where you get the whole essence of island hopping campaign, which we covered briefly in episode 16 of the Ops Center. We talk about island hopping and how it is not about what you attack, it's about what you don't attack. It's not just attacking an island and hopping over the water to the next one. It's skipping all the right islands. You only attack like 1 out of 20 islands. And an island like Rabaul is definitely one that you skip. And battles like Kokoda Trail, Guadalcanal, Bougainville, and Cape Gloucester were important in establishing that ring chokehold around Rabaul. The whole point of Operation Cartwheel was Rabaul. It was a huge base, a huge problem. It was the main bastion, the linchpin of the Japanese Empire here in the South Pacific. And once they kind of lost Rabaul, that was pretty much the end of them here in the South Pacific. They never technically lost it because we never assaulted it, but you cut it off, you grind it down, you bombard it for weeks at a time, and eventually just becomes a non-issue. But you still don't want to assault it because there's still 100,000 Imperial Japanese army in there. And nowadays it's another big tourist spot because that little bay where Raval is absolutely carpeted with Japanese wrecks in shallow water. So lots of scuba divers go there nowadays, and it's a huge tourist attraction. But that's pretty much going to wrap us up here for the Kokoda Trail. Anything else you want to bring up, Dylan, or are we pretty much done for the day?
No, we're pretty much done. I've got some videos on my channel about the Australian thing at Bougainville, and I think I got another video about this failed trial landing operation they did where a bunch of people got eaten by sharks.
Oof.
So, yeah, it's Pacific is nasty. It's much more nasty than running around North Africa, that's for sure.
Yeah, the U.S. Navy had plenty of bad encounters with sharks as well. Samoa Island, USS Indianapolis. But you mentioned videos on your channel, Mr. Dillon. Goodness gracious, do you have a YouTube channel that we don't know about?
Why, yes, I do, Jim.
All right, there you go. I teed it up for you.
Another historian wargamer on YouTube. It's a bit of a mess, really, but there's a bunch of stuff on there. Rule reviews, some history stuff, and then some music stuff. I've finally finished that Forlorn Hope thing, which took me about 2 years, maybe 3. So a little slow.
You went through almost every track on the album, didn't you?
Yeah. Cool. And I just finished the last 2. They should be uploaded soon.
When are you getting back to the Horus Heresy and Space Snake Cocaine?
Space Snake Cocaine. I've got the Prospero one written, so I just have to find time to record that. That's Space Vikings versus Space Wizards.
Sometimes you gotta love that whole universe. I don't know anything about it, but I mean, Space Vikings versus Space Wizards. I'm almost tempted to stick my beak in there because it's just like, oh my god. Anyway, we totally don't have time for that, at least for me. So yeah. I'll definitely check out your videos when they come out.
Thanks, Jim.
All right, guys, we are rounds complete. Thanks very much for watching our Kokoda Trail coverage here on the Sitrep podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe. Drop a comment. Let us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. If you want to talk about this kind of stuff or even join one of these games, please join our Discord. The link for our Discord is in the description of this video just below, and it is automatically set to accept your invitation. So we hope to see you over on our Discord as well. But for now, this is Oriskany Jim for the Sitrep podcast. Thanks very much, everybody. We are rounds complete. Tango Mike for listening, and we'll be back very soon. Take care, everybody.